The rain fell hard that evening, drumming against the diner's cracked windows like 1,000 tiny fists of fate. Inside, a young woman sat alone at the counter, clutching a worn wallet that barely held a few crumpled bills, her last $10. She wasn't there to eat. She was there to think about the bills piling up, the eviction notice waiting on her door, and the job she just lost. And then, out of nowhere, the rumble of engines shattered the silence. 6 bikers walked in, soaked, rough-looking, and hungry. Most people in the diner looked away, but not her. When she saw the waitress shaking her head at the men's empty wallets, something inside her, something kind and unbreakable, made her stand. That $10 bill burned in her hand like a test from the heavens. She didn't know it yet, but that one act of kindness would change her life forever. Before we dive deeper into this powerful true-to-life story, make sure to hit like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to Kindness Universe, where every story reminds us that compassion still matters in this world. Story, her name was Lena Harris, a 26-year-old woman from a small town called Pine Creek. Life had not been gentle to her. She worked double shifts at a grocery store, cared for her ailing mother until she passed, and was now barely keeping her head above water. But despite the storm clouds over her life, Lena always believed that kindness was the one thing you never ran out of, no matter how little you had. That night, the diner was nearly empty. The old clock on the wall ticked past 9 p.m., and the smell of burnt coffee hung heavy in the air. Lena sat quietly, tracing the edge of her cup, lost in her thoughts. Her rent was due the next day. She had nothing left, no savings, no family, and no one to call. Her last $10 was supposed to buy her dinner for the next 2 days. Then the door slammed open. The wind howled. A group of 6 bikers, dressed in black leather and dripping. Rainwater stepped in. Their boots echoed against the linoleum floor. The waitress, June, froze halfway through wiping a table. The few customers who remained lowered their eyes. Everyone assumed the same thing. Trouble had just walked in. The tallest biker, a man with a gray beard and a scar running across his cheek, looked around and said, "Ma'am, can we get something hot to eat? Coffee, maybe?" His voice was deep but tired. June hesitated. "We're closing soon. Kitchen's almost shut." Another biker, younger, with long brown hair, added softly, "We've been on the road since dawn. Lost our money when the gas station card reader ate our cash. We'll pay when we can." Lena watched the scene unfold. She could feel the judgment in the room, the fear, the assumptions. People saw leather jackets and tattoos, not human beings. Her heart ached. Without thinking, she stood up. "I'll pay for their meal," she said quietly, holding up her $10 bill. The entire diner went silent. June blinked. "Sweetheart, that's a big order. You sure about that?" Lena smiled faintly. "It's okay. Just make them something warm. They look like they need it." The bikers turned to look at her. The leader's eyes softened, his voice low. "You don't have to do that, miss." "I know," she said, "but I want to." June shrugged and got to work. Lena's $10 didn't cover much, but somehow June made it stretch. A pot of chili, bread, and a few cups of steaming coffee. The bikers sat down quietly, murmuring thanks. Lena returned to her seat, pretending not to notice their glances of gratitude. By the time they finished eating, the rain had eased. The bikers got up, each walking past her with a nod. The leader stopped, pulled off his gloves, and extended his hand. "Name's Reed," he said. "You didn't have to feed strangers, but you did. Thank you." Lena smiled. "It's nothing. Just be kind to someone else when you can." Reed gave a quiet nod. "We will." And with that, they were gone, the rumble of their bikes fading into the night. Days passed. Lena went back to her struggles. The next morning, her landlord left a final notice, eviction in 3 days. Her job application at the hardware store had been rejected, and her old car refused to start. By the second day, her food ran out. That evening, as she sat on her doorstep, staring at the empty road, a low thunder of engines filled the air again. She looked up, and there they were, the same 6 bikers pulling up in front of her rundown apartment building. Reed dismounted first, carrying something large wrapped in a tarp. "Lena Harris?" he asked. She nodded, surprised. "How did you—" Reed smiled. "We asked around. Pine Creek's a small town. Hard not to find the only girl brave enough to buy bikers dinner with her last dime." The youngest biker, Jake, lifted the tarp. Inside was a brand new bicycle, shiny, sturdy, with a note taped to the handlebars. "We heard your car's dead," Reed said. "This should get you to work. There's more." Another biker handed her an envelope. Inside was a check for $3,000. Lena's eyes widened. "What? Why would you do this?" she stammered. Reed looked at her steadily. "Because kindness like yours is rare. We run a non-profit, Ride for Hope. We travel across states helping folks who remind us what humanity looks like. You didn't know who we were. You just saw people in need and helped anyway. That kind of heart deserves something money can't buy, faith in good people." Tears filled her eyes. "I don't know what to say," she whispered. Reed grinned. "Say you'll keep being you, and when someone needs help, you'll remember this night and do what you did for us." Lena nodded, her voice trembling. "I promise." The next week, Lena used part of the money to pay her rent and fix her car. But the rest, she didn't keep for herself. She started a small project she called Warm Meals for Strangers, delivering food to homeless shelters and families struggling in Pine Creek. Every plate came with a small, handwritten card. Kindness doesn't cost. It multiplies. Months later, the diner where it all began hung her photo on the wall under a hand-painted sign in memory of a $10 act of kindness that changed everything. And once in a while, the rumble of motorcycles would echo down Pine Creek's main road, stopping just outside the diner. Reed and his crew would walk in, order coffee, and smile at the photo. "Guess the world still has some angels left," he'd say. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to Kindness Universe for more real, emotional stories that prove goodness still exists. Ending message: in a world where everyone's rushing, where most people walk past those in need, Lena's story reminds us that kindness is never wasted. One small act, one meal, one smile, one gesture can ripple across lives and return in ways you can't measure. She gave her last $10 thinking she'd lost something, but what she truly gained was hope, humanity, and a new beginning. Because sometimes the richest hearts are found in the poorest pockets.